lived such a long life, and it's evident today that she's touched not just a direct family, but generations and generations in both directions. Her and her husband Ray had such a tremendous impact. Oh, the first time I saw this family, I'm going to try to stay on script here. The first time I saw this family was in first grade while Tyler was being dropped off by his family. Sue, Pat, Ray, and Dan, they all came in fancy clothes, extravagant hair. Like I've never seen any hair except Dan. The hair was absolutely, we were like, everybody's was like movie stars and this and that. Oh, I immediately was like, oh wow, so cool. And then I all of a sudden like burned with jealousy in my heart, and I kind of bullied Tyler for a few months after that. And then, to my surprise, he invited me to his birthday party, and me and him became best friends after that. I had a heart filled with hate, and after that, I had a heart filled with love for my brother after that. And so naturally, from then on, I met Pat in first grade. At that point, every time I'd spend the night at Tyler's house, hang out with Tyler at their house at Dodge. It was a multi-family unit. It was a beautiful property, and Tyler's family lived in the adjacent space next to them. So we always ventured over to Grandma Pat's and Ray's, and she always had lofts or something interesting wherever she lived. She really picked her real estate well. But we'd go and explore these lofts and look at her pictures, and she always seemed so interested in the children of the family. She was always so quick to ask us about our lives, feed life into us, point out our talents and strengths, and she didn't let me try on her clothes. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. I am too.
I've got pictures.
But she's always so nice. So even when there was it was the 1990s, and Tyler and I would dress up like, gothic emo kids from Hot Topic. She was like, oh, I like your fishnets on your arms, She was always so graceful and so loving and so lighthearted anytime she would talk to any one of us. And later in life, I got to spend more and more time with Pat. When my mom and Tyler's mom, Sue, became very close and became friends, it started to grow into this thing. We started to spend all holidays together, our families combined. And when Ray started getting ill and I was in college, I was his caretaker for a while. And I really got to spend a lot of time with Pat and see how she was just Pat. She was just so genuine, authentic, and fun. And she'd always, when you spend time with her, she always gave you such a focus and such an attention that you could always remember. And she would always taunt me and try to ask about my love life for some reason. But it was funny because ever since she was, she'd always share with us, wisdom and stuff from the Bible. She always tell us ever since we were kids, picking the person you would marry is the most important decision you'll ever make your entire life. She tells us that when you're kids, and it used to scare me to death. So I'm like, oh, make the wrong choice, it freaked me out. She would always tell us all the way from little kids to high school to, after high school and beyond, she'd always mention it. And once she realized there was a spark between me and her granddaughter, Ashley, she fanned that spark until it was a forest fire. She would taunt me. She would taunt me and be like, so, Daniel, what do you think of Ashley? And I'm like, I think she's like a mother with another man. And she's like, you can do something about that. And then eventually we got married, and she'd always come up and tell me, you did something about it, didn't you? I'm like, sure did. Sorry, Bill. Sorry. He's not here. But every time I'd see her, even this past year, she would always say that to me when saying goodbye. She's like, you did something about it. She would whisper in her ear every time I would give her a hug. Everything Pat did was in love and all for God. It's a big thing with Pat. A big takeaway message that she would want all of us to have is ensuring our relationship with Jesus. She was always quick to ask whenever any of us grandkids were dating or talking to anybody and stuff like that. She would ask, who do they believe in? Do they believe in Jesus? But that wasn't enough. And if we told her, yes, they believe in Jesus, then she would want to know, well, where do they go to church? Are they involved? Because it wasn't so much of believing Jesus, it was this pursuit of Jesus that she would really want to know about. Like, were they actually loving Jesus? What was their pursuit? Because she knew that was such an anchor in just good quality and character and morals that people would have. She knew the wisdom that would fall behind it. Life wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. Families fight, there's frustrations and disappointments occur, but Pat was resilient. She was resilient with moving forward, forgiving, learning, and working on her weaknesses. She was a woman after God, a true Proverbs 31 woman. She was a cornerstone of her family. We went to church, and the family would just go to church wherever Pat would go to church. I swear, she was like the Michelin star of churches in Tucson. It would be like, oh, we're going to this church now. Yeah, Pat's going there. All right, sounds good. Like, she was like betting. Wherever this family went to church for like 50 years, it felt like. What I learned from Pat was that with life, Jesus wasn't a mountaintop, but it was actually a constant pursuit. Life will never fail to throw you curveballs or storms or changes. But Pat would always anchor herself to her foundational beliefs and navigate life with such a grace and such a style that only Pat could. Still laughing and excited to see family. Even in her last days, I think it was like not even 5 months ago, it was this Tyler and Paige's last birthday. They had their birthday kind of late, so they could celebrate together. We were at a restaurant, and we were leaving. And you know, our family leaving is like the slowest thing you could ever do. It's never. Like whenever like the brochure says this is ending, give it another hour. It's like actually ending at that time. There's gonna be an hour of everybody slowly moving to the vehicles, but we're slowly moving out of the restaurant. And there's like this annoying kid because all our kids were there and they're playing, so then other families' kids want to join. And I remember there's one kid, he was so obnoxious and just so annoying. He didn't say anything, obviously, right? You know, God bless all the children. But this one kid was like, I remember he was just aggravating, and I remember we were leaving, and he comes up to Pat to something, and she just turns and goes, it's up running crying, and she turns, she thought it was hysterical, she's like, I'm like running away from the restaurant, and she goes, she thought it was so funny, we laughed all the way to our cars. This so great, kid's crying to his parents. He can't explain it, what he's gonna say, you know. Oh, she thought it was so funny. It was like 5 months ago. Oh, she was beauty inside and out, forever in all her days. She had style, she had class, she had taste. She was honored and respected and full of grace. She was quick to laugh and quick to praise, quick to love and slow to hate. She loved her God and loved her faith, loved her family and loved her Ray. Love was abundant and affection on display. With this, she smiled every morning of every day. She had a strong mind and a lot to say. She made it a point to ensure you were saved. Always pursued Christ to guide her ways, with wisdom as a light to navigate life's maze. Every day was a new day. She was virtuous and excellent in every way. Noble, confident, trustworthy in Jesus' name. Strong, dignified, and known at the city's gates. Resilient in her life, no matter the pains. She loved, and she loved life with such a flame. She was beauty inside. She was beauty inside and out, forever and always. Thank you, Pat. We love you, Pat. And we'll never forget you and the impact you've had on us in all our days, and the same impact we'll put forth to our kids. Your legacy and your husband's legacy will continue on forever and always. Amen.